Um, my name is Ritika Biswas, and I'm in the class of 2018. I was, I'd say, idiosyncratic and surprisingly enough, very well-mannered. I didn't really want to talk to anyone, so I just did as I was told most of the time. And I was free to do as I pleased most of the time. I didn't have too many friends. I didn't want too many friends. I pretty much had only one friend, and she's still my friend. So that worked out well. Like animals, especially dogs more than human beings, that still largely stands. I think a friend once told me that you can live your entire life in India and not figure, or a city in India and not know how to describe it or understand it at all. And I think that's largely how I feel about Calcutta and how I grew up. I had a largely indoors kind of growing up. I did not explore the streets very much. I didn't explore the alleyways or the different regions. I would be taken around my car with my driver most places. I did not take public transport till I was like 15 or 16. So it was very difficult for me to understand the soul of the place. Growing up in my formative years, I never really resonated with the space. But that's because I hadn't explored it enough, I think. I'm very passionate about a lot of things, but I don't think they necessarily have to do with people, which I find curious about myself. I love stray dogs. I think I would love to open a shelter for stray dogs at some point. I'm not religious, but I think there's something so sacred about the act of touching pen to paper, or in my case, pencil to paper. I'm very afraid of what comes out. I think that's largely because when I was growing up, 11, 12, and I had like my first burst of creative spontaneity with words and I was able to articulate my thoughts, I would write very, very dark things. But I think it's because I'm curious about realms that aren't conventional or aren't happy. I always think of all art as just trying. For example, you can try to describe paradise as Dante did, but you're never going to be able to fully encapsulate what that vision looks like. And all you can convey is the inefficacy of language and the ineffability of certain images. I think art moves me in a way very few people or things can. The Dali Museum in Figueras, he created every square inch of that place, everything from each step to the railings to the ceiling. Every nook and cranny was just dripping with surrealism. It was so ethereal. It was so overwhelming. I don't know that I would go back to that place, to be honest, because at one point I was almost convinced I was a sociopath. For a while I was quite convinced that I might be truly evil. I didn't want to be. And I think that's where art plays such an important part in my life. It's a cliche to say that art can save you. I don't think it saved me. I think it distracted me. It distracted me in fulfilling me. A lot of the times I think art is pointless. I'm not helping the world or like saving repressed Indian women, which I'm super passionate about as well. In a purely selfish, egotistical sense, art is something that I need to do and I have to do.